They say that when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, when it comes to the Trudeaus, I'm talking about the family legacy here, when they cause a problem for the country, it looks like they all reach for the war measures. Now, of course, this is the senior Pierre Elliott Trudeau in his famous moment, "Just watch me," as he was declaring a state of emergency, invoking the War Measures Act. Yes, this was because of a situation that he largely caused here in Canada. This actually led to the end of the life of a sitting member of Parliament and the endless kowtowing of Canada and the Canadian government to French tourist organizations. And, well, I'm not talking about travelers. But let's get back to this and back to the present day. Well, Trudeau caused a big problem in Canada with his measures in the pandemic, and it led to, well, a lot of people going to Ottawa and saying, you know what, I'd like to have my civil liberties back. Well, you know, they just like father, like son. War measures. Well, they changed the name of it back in the 1980s to the Emergencies Act, but it was still the War Measures Act. He suspended civil liberties across Canada and took people's bank accounts, took their financial freedom away, took civil liberties away, suspended them entirely to end a protest. A peaceful protest at that. And he did it in a very violent way. And this is well noted. And now we're in a new situation where we have a giant housing bubble. And, well, why do we have a housing bubble? Well, largely due to the reckless spending of this federal government and the inflationary spending of money that we didn't even borrow. We just printed right from the Bank of Canada. Oh, but the Bank of Canada says we don't print money. We just issue new credit. Okay, semantics at that point. But where are we going now with this one? Well, let's have a look. Here's Sean Fraser. He's the housing minister for the Trudeau administration, for the cabinet in Ottawa. And he's saying we're going to go with a wartime measure to build wartime houses. I'm not kidding. You can't make this up.
At the end of the Second World War, Canada was dealing with enormous housing challenges. We needed to build many thousands of homes quickly to accommodate all the soldiers who were returning home to be with their families when the war had ended. In order to meet the moment, the government of the day developed an innovative strategy to build homes more quickly. They established a crown corporation, WarTime Housing Limited, which started building victory homes, simple designs that could be replicated en masse to make sure that we could provide for families as quickly as possible in a cost-effective way. In fact, the neighborhood that we're in right now was referred to at the time as Project Number 1. The strategy that was used allowed them to replicate homes en masse that provided communities that still stand today, just like the one we're in right now. Now we can take that idea and bring it into the 21st century. We plan to do that by adopting a catalog of pre-approved designs that will give timely access to home builders who are moving forward with projects that can be done quickly and in a cost-effective way. The homes that we build in the future might not look quite like the victory homes of the past century. They'll involve new technologies, including modular housing, panelization, mass timber, and even 3D printing. But if we're willing to learn from the lessons of the past, we can identify solutions that will solve the housing challenges that Canada is facing today.
I don't know why they thought this was a win. This is a really interesting strategy moving forward. Of course, I put in the comments here because 8 years of Trudeau hurt Canada's economy more than 2 world wars. Even this Liberal MP agrees. This is really ridiculous. Rupa Subramanya on Twitter commenting on this. So private developers will be encouraged, in quotes, to use standard government blueprints for housing. This was done after the war to quickly build houses for returning soldiers, and the fact that the government is doing this in 2023 reeks of desperation. Standardized housing was a feature of Soviet communism. How lovely it's being considered in Canada in 2023 by the Trudeau Liberals. Standardized and mediocre is a theme of Trudeau's Canada. And this is in response to this article and this tweet put out there by Global News saying Ottawa will revamp a Second World War era housing plan to speed up the pace of home building in Canada. Housing Minister Sean Fraser says they're not just going to get out of the way and allow, cut all the red tape as Pierre Poilievre is suggesting, and allow for home builders to build homes without you know what the average permit for a home is in Canada? I believe I read it somewhere. It was around $70,000, 70 grand just to get permission from the government to put the first nail in a board. This is ridiculous. This is where we're at in Canada. But no. We need a Wartime Measures Act, a new Wartime Measures Act to get in there and build homes. Now, Canada receives a wartime housing program amid crunch. This is reported on by Global News here. Federal government is dusting off a Second World War era housing plan to ignite the pace of home construction in Canada. Housing Minister Sean Fraser on Tuesday confirmed Global News report from Monday that the minority Liberals, with the NDP majority, are taking the nearly 80-year-old program off the shelf and revamping it. Well, why are we doing this? What is the real purpose here?
We are living in a housing crisis, but it's not the first time Canada's been here. After the Second World War, when many thousands of soldiers were returning home to be reunited with their families at once, Canada faced enormous housing crunches. One of the tools that was deployed at the time to respond to the challenges they faced at that particular point in time was the development of simple pre-approved designs by WarTime Housing Limited. In fact,
okay, so there was lots and lots of people coming in the country. Okay, there was lots and lots of Canadians coming in the country. That's true. Wait a second. Who's coming in the country right now? Oh, well, here's Mark Miller, immigration minister, to talk about just that.
Our worker to retiree ratio has dropped from 7 to 1 since I was born 50 years ago to nearly 3 to 1 now. If we don't welcome more newcomers, that number will approach 2 to 1 in the decades ahead, and that'll put our infrastructure and key programs like our healthcare and our education at risk.
Okay, translation. This is government speak for. We want to keep growing our government, and we'd like to make this this whole socialism thing really work in the end. But what we need is more and more people in the pyramid, at the bottom of the pyramid. We don't want to call it a pyramid scam, but we need more people at the bottom of the pyramid to keep this scheme going, I guess. This is the real actuality of this. With the government growing more and more, they need more people. So how many more people do we need, Mark Miller?
I'm pleased to share that Canada intends to maintain its target of welcoming 485,000 new permanent residents in 2024.
Whoa.
And 500,000 in 2025.
Whoa.
Starting in 2026, the number of newcomers we aim to welcome will stabilize at 500,000.
Wait. Stabilize.
Allowing for sustainable population growth.
Sustainable population growth is 500,000 per year indefinitely in Canada, a country with a population of 41 million people, a million new people every 2 years. That's the sustainable population growth, according to this guy.
These immigration levels allow us to bring in the skills and talent we need to fill the labor gaps and ensure Canada's economic prosperities, help families reunite, and remain a leader in refugee resettlement. They're keeping us with our long-term focus on economic growth, with roughly 60% of the permanent resident admissions dedicated to the crucial economic class.
Now, I'm all for bringing in talent in the country, but is this actually what we're doing? Is there 500,000 people worth of talent coming in the country every year? Well, that turns out to not exactly be true. And it looks like there's a lot of people are coming in with hands out. So the people that are supposed to be funding this government pyramid scheme that we have going on is they're coming in, and they're not all of them are funding it. A lot of them are becoming beneficiaries of it. Now, there was also this little bit of a scandal. On top of that 500,000, we also have international students that keep coming into our country. And wait, what do we refer to them as? Are they welcomed people, or are they something else?
Right. Look, International students are a credit to this country, Mr. Speaker. They are the future of this country, and they are an asset that is very lucrative, and we cannot let them down. Clearly,
an asset that's lucrative. Wow. Okay, that says probably a lot more than anything else. But hey, with this new housing project, do you think it's going to work out in our favor? I don't know. It could turn into more ghettos in Canada. That is yet to be seen. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. But this is the approach that the Trudeau government is taking. It looks like they're going to be pushing this forward, and we'll see some of this actually happening in 2024. But one thing we might actually see as well in 2024 is a early election. We are yet to know if that's actually true or not, but if you haven't done it, get over and sign that petition. It's growing every day to call for non-confidence in Canada for the government. But hey, get over there, the link will be in the description down below. Get over there, sign it, and leave a comment. We'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.